Hey everyone, welcome to Queerly Recommended, the podcast where we recommend queer books, films, TV shows, and more. I'm Tara Scott, and I review sapphic fiction at the Lesbian Review and Smart Bitches Trashy Books. And this week, I am recommending a recently released sapphic novel.
And I'm Kris Bryant, a contemporary romance writer for Bold Strokes Books. And this week, I'm recommending a sapphic novel that releases today. Happy Pride!
All right, so I did a fun thing recently.
Tell us.
So even though Calgary Pride is not until September, because it is World Pride Month, there was a queer art market on the weekend that was super fun. So it was in a community center. They actually had 2 floors.
Wow.
Stuff. I know, it was great. There were all kinds of art, but then also there were tattoo artists that were there. There were people that had like taxidermy. So it was kind of like, it was like art and different. Weird stuff. But it was like
queer taxidermy.
Well, thankfully the taxidermy was mostly of the like bugs and butterflies variety, not of the there were like no small animals or anything like
a wolf or something.
Yeah, but it was I was really excited to see it. I saw it advertised on Instagram because I've gone to those kinds of things when I go to Toronto, but I haven't ever seen them here before. So I finally made it to one here.
Nice.
And it's just as good as anything in Toronto. And I spent too much money, just like I always do. And I saw my kid's art teacher there, which was also
cool.
A nice surprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were super nice.
Seeing a teacher out in the wild always blows my mind. It used to blow my mind as a kid.
Right?
Why are you out of the school?
Don't you live there?
Right. Why are you out? Yeah, that's always it's always kind of thrilling, exciting, and also kind of weird.
Yeah, the way you said that and then making the joke about them living there reminded me. My favorite aunt used to work at, there's a historic site in the town where I grew up. So it's like an old fort.
Oh, cool.
And so she worked there in the visitor center. And so we used to go visit her on the weekends because, like we were little and my dad was like, let's get you the hell out of the house and go do something. So we'd go visit Aunt Jane. And then one day they were going to take us we were going to eat dinner at Aunt Jane's. And instead of turning left to go to the fort, we turned right to go to the city. We're like, where are we going? They said, we're going to Aunt Jane's. We're like, but that's not where she lives. We thought she lived.
She lived
at the fort.
That's funny. I like that.
What about you? What's been going on with you?
Well, Father's Day was good. Nice. My dad had a great time. Yeah, he said it was probably one of his favorites.
Oh,
that was nice. Yeah, he needed that. And I had a garage sale. So
nice.
Yes, so I made some money for my trip to Vegas.
Woo!
I'm trying to build a big fat stack of cash to do fun things like shows. And then my sister has been sending me these TikToks about head massages. Like, and they like, not just head massages, but they like wash your hair and then they brush it. And like, it's a whole thing. And it just looks fantastic. And so I already know that I'm going to fall asleep in like 5 minutes. It's like playing with my hair can stop me in my tracks. Like, stop me. Like, also, it's a very easy way to kidnap me.
I was going to say, you shouldn't tell people that.
Right. Oh, you want to twirl my hair? Brush it? Sure. I'll follow you into this windowless van. Sure. I'm an easy target. Like, easy. So yeah, so that's pretty much what's been going on, what's new in my life. Yeah.
And are you gearing up to go to the GCLS conference?
Oh, yes, I am. Sort of. So here's the thing. So the one thing that we all stress about, and I'm going to say all of us because I mean it, all of us, we all stress about what are we going to wear to the awards show.
Yes.
That is a thing. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, what am I going to wear? So at some point I'm going to have to go shopping because the things I'm buying online aren't fitting me and I don't like that. I'm just going to have to break down and go to a mall. Oh, and go shopping.
Can your sister go with you? Does she like to shop? Do you have a trusted adult that you can say, bring me to put professional clothes on?
Well, I think I'm gonna go more casual this year because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, like I wore tux one year, I wore a suit one year, I wore a dress one year, and I just feel like maybe I'm just gonna go a little bit more casual just because,
Mm,
like, I mean, there's so much going on right now. I'm not really feeling it. I don't want to like
yeah.
dress up right now. I'm just kind of, bleh. I hate everything. So I think I'm just gonna like wear a pair of slacks and like a nice shirt, blouse, top, whatever I'm gonna call it. I don't even know what to call it. Do people wear blouses anymore? Are they tops? What are they called?
There's a joke in there somewhere.
There has to be. There has to be. I don't
I
know. A button
believe
up, button down.
there's still I was trying to figure out how to make or not make a top joke.
Well, we know that's not me.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I was like, but I couldn't quite get there. I couldn't quite get to
We
the
got it.
joke, unfortunately. Yes, I believe there are still blouses and
Are they
tops.
blouses? Okay. So that's what I'm looking at. Like just pair of slacks and like a nice top-ish thing.
Mhm. Mhm. That
So
sounds good.
yeah, I'm gonna just do that.
Nice.
Because this like when I wear like so my shoulders are pretty straight across and like
Mhm.
I don't need shoulder pads or anything. And when I most blazers and suit coats and tuxedos and everything has shoulder pads for women, and I don't understand it. Like the 80s are out, the 90s, like early 90s are out. And like, why are we bringing this back? I don't want this back. I look like a football player. Like,
Mhm.
I don't want this.
Mhm. Can
So,
you remove
yes,
them?
sometimes you can, but
Yeah.
the ones I was looking at today, I was like, no, I can't remove these. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna just not do. I'm just gonna go semi-casual,
Mhm.
semi dressy uppy, whatever.
If you're gonna end up dancing and sweating your ass off
Right.
afterwards
Uh-huh.
anyway, you might as
Uh-huh.
well be comfortable.
Right. Exactly. Worst
Mhm.
case, I can wear a vest if I have to. I don't know. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm stressing about. So GCLS, yes, it's coming up. Also, listen to this.
Mhm.
So I got a vendor of mine
Mhm.
to donate some money so that we could add pens to the GCLS grab bag, which is pens for SAS
Cool.
and pens for Sapphics with the T. So
Nice.
that was really nice. And I was short some money, so I called up one of our massively
Generous?
generous reader who buys all of our books, every single one of us,
Mhm.
Shy Springer, and she made up the difference. And so we had
Way to
these
go,
pens.
Shy. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so we're gonna put those in the hopefully those will get to Betsy in time, which I think they will. I
Nice.
haven't received any notification that they shipped, but I know it's coming. So that was kind of fun. So I'll have that going on. And then I
Mhm.
have to I ordered some Sapphics with the T notebooks and some
Nice.
stickers. And so I'll bring those as well.
So, what have you been reading or watching since the last time we talked?
So I cannot believe that I didn't talk about this last time. The
Okay.
Handmaid's Tale is over. It's over. Well, or has it just begun? I mean, really?
Well, yeah, they
I
said, "You
don't
know
know.
what?
Yeah.
You know what? It's happening in real life. We don't need a show
Right.
anymore."
Who needs that? Yeah. But the show is very empowering how it ended,
Mm.
but there's more. They left one storyline open, so that will be addressed in the Testaments, excuse me, which takes place like 5 years after this ending. So
Oh,
5 years
Atwood
later.
has
Yeah.
is that's her I didn't read that one.
Yeah, I didn't read it either. So they're already filming it though, so I know they're like going at it. So
Hmm.
I'm kind of excited to see how that's going to end. The one thing I didn't like is June's husband. For the life of me, I can't think of his name. At the very beginning of this show, he was very mousy. He was really surprised when June broke free and got out and stuff like that. Like, he was like, "Oh, I never gave up," but he never really did anything. Like never looked for
Mhm.
her, never really. I mean, he might have gone to like the consults or something, or like I don't know what it's called, but they really never showed it. He just kind of just seemed like kind of a meh kind of guy. And like the last couple of episodes, they have him like this, like, "Oh, let's go, we're gonna fight them." I mean, they totally changed his personality, and I'm looking at like, no, this doesn't work for me. Like, it's
Mhm.
not believable at all. Like, so
Yeah.
anyway, the character arc was like a total fail. June's character arc was like amazing. Like,
Okay.
yeah, very good series. It's a terrible series, but it's a very good series.
Mhm.
So that ended, and so I was kind of sad, but also, again, here we
Is it
are.
a bit of a relief that it's over?
Yes, yes, it is, because we needed to get there. I feel like the
Yeah.
last season stretched out a little long, but I tell you, like there were some episodes that were amazing.
Nice. Yeah, I asked mostly because I mean, we've been doing this podcast for 5 years, so you've been talking about the show. I
I
think
know.
every year that we've been doing this, and every year you're like, "Oh my god, this show is harrowing." And
Yeah, it is.
so
So finally it's like, phew, it's done.
yeah.
But also, I mean, like it's so cool because I'm kind of like a newbie Swifty in a way, because
Tell me
my
more.
boy is dating.
Oh, right.
So I'm kind of like a Swifty-ish.
Mhm.
So like there's this whole thing going on in Swifty World where Look What You Made Me Do. They actually played that song during the beginning of one of the episodes. I think it's second to the last episode. And there's this person who gets out of this van and it looks like Taylor Swift. And like everybody blew up, like, it's her. Oh my goodness, it's her.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, people who were, I guess, on her staff are like, yeah, that's not her. But it really does look like her.
That's kind of a fun stunt
I know. And
though.
she loves The Handmaid's Tale. So, I mean, can you imagine and she
Love
does
that.
Easter eggs so much and everything.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everything is very, like, she does everything with purpose and there's a reason
Mhm.
behind it. And these Swifties, these diehard Swifties know it, they pick up on it. And it's just great. It's kind of fun. Like, it's fun just to sit back and like watch these people. They come together and it's just amazing to watch this. So, anyway,
I
so
love that.
Handmaid's Tale, they're done.
Yep.
But I love that episode. It's such a kick-ass episode, that one.
Mhm.
Starts off really good. And then they announced The Traitors season 4. And speaking of
Ooh.
Travis Kelsey, his mother is going to be a contestant.
Wait, what?
Yes, yes, Donna Kelsey is going to be a contestant, or
Is she
whatever you want to call
evil?
it. No, she's a doll. She's an angel. So I hope they make her a traitor. But I think
Yeah,
everybody's
right?
going to think she's a traitor. But
Yeah.
nobody wants to. Zac Efron's brother, who was on it last season, I think his name
Mhm.
is Dylan. I don't really know. He's cute. Whatever. But he said something about nobody's going to want to vote her off because they all want to meet Taylor Swift. And so they don't want to be the people who like vote her off because then they won't
Uh-huh.
be invited to like the football suite or like Taylor's home or something like that. So it was like a big
Mhm.
joke on TikTok. So I'm
Oh my
really looking
goodness.
forward to that. And
Yes.
yes, tell
Monet
me.
so I only know I think I saw it on Instagram. So Monet Exchange from RuPaul's Drag Race is going to be on. And the reason why I find that especially interesting is because last season Bob the Drag Queen was on. They are
Yes.
best friends. They co-host the Sibling Rivalry podcast. And the way they shit talk each other all the time on the podcast, I'm very curious to see who can play a better game. If Monet can last longer than Bob.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm just
yeah.
super curious. It sounds fun.
Did you watch season 3? Did you watch it? You
Barely. I started the
started it.
first
Yeah.
episode and then I forgot it existed. I've been in a big, like, I've been doing a lot of reading the last few months,
Good.
which is great,
Yeah.
but it's almost like I can either watch shows or I can read or I can play video games that have a lot of story to them. I can't typically do all of them except right now, which I'll get into later. And later, I'm sort of doing a couple of different things, but for some reason I can't stick with a show and obsessively read books. So
I get it. I get
here we
there's
are.
only so many hours of the day. Again, if I was a
Yes.
vampire, I could accomplish everything I wanted to because I would never need
Mhm.
sleep. And,
Oh man. Or if I could just be retired.
even retired, I feel like I would like the hours, like they would just disappear. Like, what happened to the day?
Yeah.
Because when I worked from home forever, like
Mhm.
after not working from home, and I just like the day, well, that could also be COVID, the haze of COVID, because
Uh-huh.
we were all stuck inside forever, and I think I lost 5 years of my life. Like, I just
Yeah.
sat in my house and ate, like nervously ate.
Yeah, I mean, I still work from home. I actually found that I really prefer working from home. I think being neurodivergent is just easier to get work done from here
Yeah.
and actually focus and all that. But yeah, I just think I was telling somebody today, if I could just retire, I would be like the fittest person you'd know. And I would read more books.
And you'd probably, you'd listen to audiobooks as you were working out, and then you'd go home
Mhm.
and read, and
Mhm.
of course.
Mhm. It
Of
would be
course.
great.
It
I'd be
would
really
be.
good at it.
See, that's why I want to win the lottery, because or win big in Vegas. That
Yeah,
would be
see?
amazing.
Then you could get somebody to wash your hair for you every day.
Right. No, I don't want to wash my hair every day, but I would love somebody to play with my hair every day.
Mhm.
Like that would be
Well,
amazing. Like these
you
things, they put you on a bed, like it's a like a hydro bed type thing, and I know I'm
you
gonna
need
fall
to teach
asleep.
you need to teach the cats to play with your
I
hair.
know. My other cat, rest in peace, Raven Elizabeth, used to do that. She used to like play with my hair.
Oh,
She'd like grab
no.
her paw like over my hair. It
Oh
was so
my
cute. She
god.
was so sweet. She only
That's
loved me.
adorable.
Yeah. That's why I love. Oh, so I gotta tell you this.
Mhm.
So this man comes up at the garage sale, and I'm sitting inside my garage because it's fucking
Yep.
hot,
Yep.
super hot. And he comes in, he's like, hey, he's like, I go, can I help you? Is there something you need? And he's like, well, I'm looking for like cat stuff, cat toys, cat things. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, so there's this lady who lives across the street from me, and she has 17 kittens, cats. They're just out. And he goes, so I just grabbed one.
Oh
So
my god, that's too many cats.
he's like, yeah, he goes, I have one, and I don't have anything. I've had her for like 2 days. He doesn't even know it's a girl or boy. I think he thinks it's a girl, but
Oh
he doesn't know
man.
how cats work. Anyway, he goes, and I don't think she's done weaning. I mean, she's very tiny. And he's like, and she's not really like, she pooped on the counter, and she's not really using the litter box. And I'm like, literally know nothing about cats. So I said, oh, I go,
Mhm.
well, let me help you. So I for litter box, I go, probably use like a lid or something like that. And just, so he was telling me that he and his wife, as soon as the cat's done eating, they put it in the litter box.
Okay.
And so I said, well, what you probably need to do is make that baby's world very small. Because right now the cat has full run of their house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so that's they're not like, yeah, no, no, no. So let's find a small room. I said, find a small room like a bathroom or something like that, and just kind of like, gradually
Mhm.
introduce the cat. Because the cat's like not even 6 weeks. And I'm just, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, it's like it's amazing when when you have a garage sale, people come out and they tell you that you're like a bartender. They will
Mhm.
tell you their problems.
Mhm.
It's so amazing to me, like, how that is a thing. It really is. Because that was, like, the 3rd giant story I heard that was kinda sad, actually. So, I gave him some, like, this kitten broth stuff that I had. I just gave it to him. I said, "Here,
Mhm.
this'll help you, hopefully." I said, "Yeah," but and he was like, "I'm gonna have her declawed," and I go, "Oh, nope, no, you're not. Nope.
No.
Nope." I said, "Here's the deal." I said, "A lot of vets don't do that anymore." I said, "'Cause it's like torture." And I said, "They don't take the nails out." So I had to explain to him what they do when they declaw a
Mhm.
cat. It's like that first knuckle. They like
Yeah.
literally chop it off.
Yeah.
Their nails don't grow. This It's not
It's not kind. It's
clawing. It's
pretty
like, yeah,
terrible.
it is terrible. He's like, "Oh my God." He goes, "I didn't know that." I'm like, "Yes." He goes, "Is it okay to fix them?" I said, 100%.
Oh
Definitely
yeah.
fix your cat. Like for sure. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, do you want to meet the cat? I have the cat and the dog in the car." Like, are you gonna play with my hair too? Because here I go to stranger's car, I mean, shit. So I go over there. His wife's in the car, so she
Yeah.
rolls down the window, and so this little like teeny tiny chihuahua walks up. He's walking on the window frame, just walking back and forth.
Oh.
And so he like reaches in and pulls out the tiniest little black kitten,
Oh
and I'm
my.
like, "Oh my gosh, why are you doing this to me?"
Uh-huh.
So that baby clung to me. That baby was like, "Please
Sure.
let me stay here.
Yeah.
Please. I'm being terrorized by a chihuahua and these two people who know nothing about cats." I mean, kudos to them for like, we're going to
Mhm.
make this cat's life a lot better than what it is now.
Yes.
Kudos. And so I'm trying to peel this little kitten off of me, and this kitten is like crying, like, "No, no." And I'm like,
Oh, the kitten's like, "You're my home
"Oh, I
now."
know." And I wanted to keep the kitten. I did.
I
But,
don't doubt it. Oh my
oh,
god, but you already
geez.
have 2 cats. And also, it sounds like there's gonna be more neighborhood cats soon anyway.
Right. Except I don't know where this man lives. I don't know where he lives. He's a really nice guy. He just
Oh,
didn't
okay.
have a lot of knowledge
Mhm.
about pets, animals, things like that. So,
Mhm.
But good luck to him. I hope
No kidding.
good luck to him. I'm glad that he did do this. I hope he reads up on it and doesn't just kind of rely on like, oh, cats are self-sufficient. Let's just throw it down on the ground and watch it like grow
Do
into a
whatever it
cat. It's like,
wants.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, so anyway, let's see what else. Oh, we were talking about what I've been reading or watching, right?
Yes.
I watched 28 Days Later, which I love. It's a cult classic.
hmm
It's like zombies, blah, blah, blah. 28 Days Later. And then right after that, I went into 28 Weeks Later because I can't stop myself. Because I'm getting ready for 28 Years Later, the movie that comes out here
Years.
recently. Yes, it's coming out soon. I don't know when, but it's coming out soon. I keep seeing commercials for it, advertisements
hmm
for it. So I'm very excited. I get to go, that's my zombie movie.
All
That's my
right.
apocalypse. I need that. I need that.
You do like your zombie stuff.
Yes, because The Walking Dead with Negan and Maggie is just pure shit. Like, but I'm still watching it. It's like I turn it on and then I like scroll on my phone. Like
My
I'm
friend,
at that stage. I
you
know.
need to learn to bail.
I
You
can't
deserve
bail
better. You
because now
deserve
I need to
better.
see. I do deserve better. I know this. But also, I'm almost there. We're almost
hmm
done. I gotta live it. I gotta stick it
You're at
out.
the point where you're cheering for it to not be renewed, though.
I know. I'm like, it's okay if this one just kind of goes away. Like, it's all right.
hmm
And then we just need to get Daryl and Carol back to the United States. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're better off in Paris or France. I don't know.
hmm
Anyway, so that is enough about what I have been reading and watching. What about you? What's been going on with you?
All right. So RuPaul's Drag Race All Star Season 10 continues. The third
Mm.
bracket started last
Oh,
week.
good, 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 good.
Oh my goodness. So here's the thing that's been funny. I've been talking about this with friends. I have a group text with a few coworkers where every week we talk about what's happening with Drag Race. And I was complaining about a couple of the queens who were on this season because they've been on so many times. Because All Stars is the one where they like bring back people from previous
Oh, yeah.
seasons.
Hmm.
And in this third bracket, they have somebody named Ginger Minge, where like she was on season 7. This is her third time on All Stars. And I'm like, give somebody else a chance. And then they did the first week with her. And I'm like, I take it all back. I was
She's
wrong.
amazing.
She's amazing. Exactly. She's amazing. It's the guest judges for this week were Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. And so
Oh,
there's
man,
this like
nice.
really beautiful moment where they come into the workroom and Ginger cries. And it's just this
I
like
would too.
it's the gayest episode ever. Even one of them, Denali, she's the ice skating queen who's like, this is the most homosexual episode ever. And I'm like, yes, I agree. And when it came down to like the two all-stars who like the two that won for the week, the lip sync song was Defying Gravity from the original Broadway cast of Wicked. So it was just it was so good. I think it's my favorite episode that I've seen in a long
Oh,
time. It
nice.
just like it made me so happy. I cried happy tears. It was beautiful. And I was like, yeah, okay,
Nice.
that's why I love this show. That's why I still love this show. I've started playing the video game Hades again because my oldest kid got into it. I think
Oh,
I
nice.
recommended it a few
You
years
did.
ago
You did.
because my kid was playing it. I was like, well, maybe I gotta play it. And it is nice because it's a game that like you can pick up and play for like at first you die really frequently because that's the whole point of the genre is like it's called a roguelite and it's you die, but then every time you die, you're gaining resources, so you get stronger and it takes longer to die. So
Okay.
now I'm at the point where each time I play, it's about 20 to 30 minutes, which is kind of perfect for keeping it like a nice short, which is why I can still read. So I can play roguelites and read books. I just can't get into like a game like Baldur's Gate, which I think was about 80 hours, Baldur's Gate 3, and then also read books. So I've been playing Hades, which is also a queer game because he has romance interests that are both male and female. And I
Oh,
think you can
nice.
romance multiple at the same time. It's kind of peripheral to it because really most of the time you're just like running through the levels of hell killing things, which is
No time for love.
satisfying, right? Very little time for love. And I read a book. I read a historical romance called
Yay.
Don't Want You Like a Best Friend by Emma R. Albin. And I got this one as a digital loan from my public. I can't say anything anymore.
Lick.
I give up. I'm done. It's a digital loan from my public library. So way to go, Calgary Public Library,
Yay.
for having the queer books there. This one takes place in 1850s London about the marriage market. Beth is one of the leads. It is her first and last season to find a husband. because her dad was an asshole, and when he died, he made sure that she and her mother would not be taken care of.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't really have anything, even though this guy was loaded. But like I said, total asshole. And then there's Gwen.
Yes.
It's
Oh.
Gwen's fourth season. She doesn't want to get married, doesn't really know why.
Oh!
Lesbian. Just she doesn't know yet. She doesn't know yet. But her father, who is widowed, is very rich and very indulgent, and he continues to
Ooh.
support her. And he's like, "Can you like maybe try to find a husband?" Well, whatever, doesn't really matter. So Gwen and Beth hit it off as friends, like really, really have that like awesome, amazing best friendship kind of energy to start anyway. But then they realize something like their parents know each other
Mm.
and their parents kind of react around each other. Oh, maybe they used to be interested in each other way back
Oh.
before they each got married. So now there's a new plan because Gwen realizes if I can get my dad to marry your mom, we can both stop looking for a husband.
'Cause then we'll have all the money in the world.
Right? And so it turns into almost like a little bit of a parent trap situation. But then, of course, they start to realize that they have feelings for each other, which puts a whole new spin on it. Like, oh, wait, but I don't want anybody else. Because like there is a guy who comes and starts courting Beth, and she's like, but I don't want to be married to this guy. I want to hang out with my best
Bestie
friend. And then
forever.
her bestie forever kisses her, and she's like, oh no.
Oh, yes.
I really enjoyed this. It was really cute. It made me laugh out loud in spots. And because there is a suitor for Beth, and there really is a strict time limit to when she needs to get married by,
That's
or she and her
terrible.
mom are boned. So there is quite a bit of angst there. But it's still, I thought it worked really well. The ending is happy. I loved the way it turned out for them and for the parents. And there's a follow up to it, and it follows another couple who are gay. And it's kind of set up at the end where Gwen's like, okay, but if we can get them to be together, and then because they're clearly interested in each other, if we can get them to get together, and then you can marry one, and then I can marry the other one, and they can live in one house, and we can live in one house. And I'm like, yes. So I might check that one out if my
Oh,
library
good.
gets it. But yeah, it's called Don't Want
Nice.
You Like a Best Friend by Emma Albin. It's very cute.
Nice.
All right, Chris Bryant,
Yes.
what is your recommendation this week?
I'm so excited about this one.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Incendiant by Virginia Black. Boom.
I've been excited about this
Woo!
one too. It just hit my Kindle today. So I wish I could have read it so I could be excited with you, but I will just get more excited by whatever you have to
Yes, that's
say and then take that with
exactly
me into my reading
right.
experience.
So this is a continuation of Consecrated Ground. Do you have to read Consecrated Ground? No, but it makes a lot more sense if you do.
Well, and why wouldn't you? That book is
Right.
fucking great. If
It
you haven't read
is.
Consecrated Ground, you need to go read that
Right.
book.
Yes. I mean, I think I recommended it when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just loved it so much. I love her writing. I really do.
Yeah.
So Consecrated Ground was Joan's story, and it was fabulous. And then when I found out that this book was going to drop the same day as our podcast, I begged and I pleaded for the book to the point that I embarrassed myself. But Virginia was gracious enough to give me a reviewer copy, and I read it in a day. Like I started
Dang.
after Father's Day activities, I went out onto the porch and I got into the hammock and I put the little
Mm-hmm.
mosquito net around me, and I was out there for 4 hours reading.
Wow.
And then I came in and I read for a couple more hours, and I finished at like 11 o'clock that night. So I couldn't put it
Wow.
down. Literally, I couldn't put it down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll read you the synopsis for everybody because I want
Yeah.
everybody to read the first book and then follow. You can read this book like right after because it'll be available. I love that. I love it when you
Yeah.
can go right into the next book. Like that is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So War Witch Joan Matthews teamed up with bloodling Lee Fan to save their town, but not everyone is happy with the outcome. ... War Witch Joan Matthews wants little more than to build a life with Lee Fan. Their hometown is rebuilding under Joan's protection, but not everyone is happy with their solution to the most recent vampire crisis. Vampires.
Wow. They need
Meanwhile,
to get over it because that was bad.
meanwhile, Lee's bloodling powers lead to an unforeseen consequence, and Joan is forced to honor a favor owed to a dangerous foe. Neither knows a greater threat lurks beneath or behind seemingly unrelated attacks across the land. Together, Joan and Lee once saved the town of Calvert. Now that they are separated,
Mm-mm. Mm.
each must learn to save herself, or all their gains will be forfeited, and everyone they know will pay the price. Da, 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 ba, ba, ba.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we know what a witch is, right? We all know what a witch is. So I'm like, bloodling, I kind of sort of know because, any other books and movies that we've read about vampires, they have bloodlings in them. So I reached out to Virginia. I'm like, hey, I need you to tell me what a bloodling is in your story. Like, what does that mean? And she said a bloodling is somebody who is more than human.
Mm-hmm.
And a bloodling has been infected by a vampire but hasn't turned. So it's kind of
Okay.
like, there's I guess you can say vampiric way. Is that a
So,
word?
like, does that mean they're not going to turn, or is it that
They're not
phase
going to
between?
turn. It's the phase between, and it's kind of like when they feed, vampires will go and they feed
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
people will volunteer and they'll drink their blood, but they don't turn them. So that's like a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
she
you're making me think
was,
of the vampire book that I was reading with my youngest. I think I told you about that the vampire series,
yes,
The
yes, you
Vanquishers.
did.
But in their case, it seems like they kind of always end up turning into vampires. It can take a while, which I guess is why I was asking. But these are books by two completely different authors, and
Right.
vampires are not real. So everybody gets to make up their own mythology.
Right. And so like she was saying that some bloodlings have like super strength, or some have greater stamina or keener senses. And Lee's trying to figure out like where she fits in. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't understand what being a bloodling means. She's confused.
Mm.
She's starting to burn things by touch and people with their hands, and she doesn't know how to control it. So basically, this is her story about learning how to deal with her past and understanding why she has this power and if it's good or not. Is
Mm-hmm.
it good? Is it bad? She doesn't know. So in Consecrated Ground, Joan fights the vampires and rescues Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And in this book, the relationship with the vampire changes a little bit, but we really don't know why. So there's got to be another book in the works. That's
Mm-hmm.
there has to be another book. While this one ended great, there were still many questions that I had unanswered. And the minute a new person was introduced, I reached out to Virginia and I'm like, if she doesn't get her own story, I'm going to be super mad. So this book is really, it's kind of about love and how Joan and Lee strengthen the relationship after it's
Mm-hmm.
repeatedly being tested.
Mm-hmm.
Joan's learning how to not be in control of everything, and Lee's learning how to take charge of herself. So you can see it's becoming more of a power dynamic where it's more equal.
Mm-hmm.
It's more equal.
Mm-hmm.
And, I always talk about how when I read a book, it plays out in my mind like a movie. If
I mean, Consecrated Ground was written like that.
for
Because
sure.
I
And this
usually
is
can't, and that time I was able to.
yeah, and this happens again. Like this, it's a
Nice.
hard thing to do, and Virginia nailed it. And I could see this as a movie. So if you like witches and spells in real world Earth time, like
Mm-hmm.
happening behind the scenes of everyday life, and sapphic and love and burning sex, then this book is for you. So I do highly
Mm-hmm.
recommend it. It was fantastic. Like I said, if you haven't read the first one, and she won awards for it, Consecrated Ground,
Mm-hmm.
the good news is, as soon as you're done with it, you could buy this one,
And just go right to it. Mm-hmm.
Incendiant. Right, exactly. Go right to it. And that's the best feeling. Like, I
Oh
love
yeah.
doing that. Like, ah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that there's going to be more in the works. So I'm excited about this. So that is my official recommendation. Tara, what is your official recommendation?
Okay, I can safely say I have never read a book like this before. It's called
Oh,
Cosmic Love at the Multiverse Hair Salon by Annie Mare. And I can never remember the full title, which is why I just call it in my head the Multiverse one.
yay.
This is an interesting book because it very heavily features a romance, and yet I don't know if I would strictly call it a romance novel. And so, in that way, just specifically by that aspect, it kind of reminds me of the book Honey Girl,
Okay.
which is also like this deeply moving, emotional, the romance is prominent and important. But with this one, I think because it's a multiverse book, so it sort of has a sci-fi element to it. I don't know exactly how I would classify it, and it doesn't really matter because I loved it. So Tressa Faye
Nice.
Robeson is the main character. She is a hairstylist who owns and runs this really exclusive shop where she's the only stylist there, and she only does haircuts. She doesn't do color, but the cuts that she does are like life-giving. They're like life-changing, and she's so good at what she does. She's internet famous, and even celebrities will hire her
Mm.
to cut their hair. And so when it opens, it's this like perfect October evening. She's having soup and hanging out with her cat, and her friends are like, come out. And she's like, fuck no, are you kidding? It's soup time with my
This is
cat.
perfect. I know, it sounds like my
Exactly.
perfect night. What? No, I
Exactly.
don't want to go out.
It was so good. But then she gets a text from someone named Meryl who has clearly been stood up on a date. And their texting chemistry is so good that she's like, well, I'll come meet you at the taco shop. And she abandons her soup and her cat to
Ah,
go meet
what?
Meryl, but she's not there. And is
Hmm.
texting her and she's like, where are you? I don't see you. And Meryl's like, I don't see you either. And so she assumes so she goes home, just assumes she's been pranked. She blocks Meryl's number and decides to move on with her life. Except she can't move on because within a couple of days, Meryl's sister and close friends show up at the shop. And they're like, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? You're messaging her on Instagram, and you texted her, and she's been missing for a month. Why are you messaging my sister when she's been gone? Which is this like, what? Like kind of a mindfuck thing. Tressa was sending texts on October the 1st, but when she
Okay.
checks their texts, she sees that Meryl's were being sent on May 1st of the same year.
Wow.
So, thanks to one of Tressa's nerdiest friends, because they get a bunch of people together. So it's like Tressa, it's Meryl's sister and friend, and then Tressa's like best friends. She has a small group, like small, awesome group of queer friends. And one of them explains they're dealing with the temporal paradox because they are in the multiverse. And so different versions are kind of like talking to each other. And so the rest of the book involves present Tressa and past Tressa working with their friends to try to save Meryl from disappearing in September.
Ah,
It's a difficult book to explain, but I
right.
will say this book has a lot of really good things going for it. And I'm going to start with my favorite thing, which is like, oh my God, the yearning in this book is incredible. I have not seen anything like it. And even just like not only yearning, but also the jealousy of like one version of Tressa being jealous of another version of herself
Wow. Yeah.
and how that all plays into it is so interesting. And so they have this like insane chemistry, but they know September 4th is coming. And so in that way, even though like it feels so good, there's so much excitement. They just clearly click in this way that is almost impossible. There's a tension for so much of the book because they know September 4th is coming. And some of how it's described is so beautiful, just like that chemistry they have. And so one of the examples that I really love comes pretty much like very shortly after Tressa Faye unblocks Meryl's number and starts texting her again. And as well, she's kind of sitting there with a group of friends. And the chapter ends with, right here, right now, in the glow of these texts, it felt exactly like it should, like passing notes with a pretty girl who you knew might like you and you might like back. It was completely the same feeling as always. Every single universe there was in the infinite had this. And it was just this like lovely little evocative moment. So I could always feel how excited she was about this woman. And
Mm.
Meryl has decided like, "Oh, I'm not going to just take this. Like I'm not going to just disappear. Are you kidding?" And decides and this is like Meryl and May is like, "I'm going to start experimenting." And so she just shows up. Well, she doesn't just show up. She asks Tressa Faye, she's like, tell me when I should come into your shop? I'm going to go meet you. And so she gives her a day and time. And she's like, actually, go tomorrow, like for you, go tomorrow at this time. It'll only be me there. And so she goes and asks for a trim, and it creates this like ripple effect
Ah.
because every time she changes something, then the memories change for all the people who are a part of their experience. Whenever she changes the past, she alters everyone's memories. And so there's this one passage I really love in Tressa Faye's talking to Mary. Mary is the person who runs her shop, like deals with all the booking and the
Mm,
cleanup and the
mhm.
washing hair and whatever. And she's talking to her and says, "Oh, Meryl's making new stories, smashing all the old ones." And Mary nods enthusiastically and says, "I'm looking forward to remembering when I met her." Isn't that a beautiful
Right.
line?
It is.
It's so special.
That is.
I also really love that, like, in addition to the romantic love and the relationship there, which I just think is really beautifully done, the book also really deals with the nature of other types of love as well. Like we see Tressa Faye dealing with familial love, and it's really tough because she has a really complicated relationship with her dad. He's this like really gruff, closed off Catholic guy who's been a widower for many years because her mom died when she was died or left.
Mm.
Oh, I can't remember which one. Anyway, he's been raising her alone for many, many years. And because of the multiverse experimentation, it ends up changing their relationship too. And we see how that changes her. It's so tough to talk about with not getting into spoilers. I don't want to spoil things in it. But I really love the evolution of that relationship. We also see, similarly for Meryl, there's the relationship with her sister, which is strained in some ways, but they get to work on it as well. And then also, the friend group is really like its own found family. And so platonic love shows up very
Mm.
strongly. And at one point, that nerdy friend who brought up the whole multiverse thing says, "Can the assurances the multiverse offers that every love is possible explain to a person the shape of their queerness?" Like asking this question. And it's like, I know nobody would actually, probably almost nobody would say something like that verbatim, but I thought that was a special moment because it's a reminder that this, in a way, this story is questioning about how love itself can be a part of identity.
Mhm.
And so multiverse theory is a big part of this. It does have some explanations. I saw some people complaining about that on Goodreads. It was
Mm.
interesting to see the reviews were kind of mixed, and there were some people that didn't dig the science of it. I appreciated it because it made the world building make sense. I didn't find it overly sciencey. I'm not a very sciencey person,
Same.
so I thought that was fine. In a way, almost made it feel philosophical. And this is really, people who understand physics much more than me are probably going to roll their eyes mightily, but physics and philosophy are really quite tied. Like there's a certain point at which physics goes kind of from science into philosophy in some ways. And I felt like this book kind of brought some of that together with this backdrop of this like gorgeous faded romance. Like they were always meant to be together in most of the multiverses. And water even is a big thing. This idea that like water has memory.
Ah.
I don't know if you've heard this. They gave an example of like a dam was going to be pulled down and it went back to where the water knew where to flow, where it had flowed originally.
Huh.
So this idea that like we can try to make rivers and things move, but water has a memory and it goes where it's supposed to. Gosh, I feel like he keep going on, but I just love this book so much. Well, and even just this like Tressa Faye as a stylist is really important because she is changing lives. She is like
Uh,
showing that these small moments, going for a haircut can be enough to help people be proud. Like she can see into who they are as people and help them be proud of things they want to hide. So like there's a woman she gives a haircut to and changes their life by allowing her acne scars to show and to see that she's beautiful even when they're showing. And even Tressa Faye has she has a vascular birthmark, like a large one on her face, which I don't think I've read in a romance before, and was interesting to see that represented. So,
Not on the face. I've
mhm.
seen like things on legs. I think Radcliffe had a series
Yeah,
like one of the characters had a really bad scar on her
yeah.
leg. Yeah, that's interesting.
When I finished, I like needed to talk it out with somebody, so I just start talking to Neil. I'm just like just yapping at him about it. And he said something about like how multiverses are pretty common in horror and speculative fiction. And I've been thinking about that for a while, trying to think like, where have I seen that
Mhm.
with this prominent of a romance? And the only thing I can remember reading that was anything like that was 20 years ago, I think, when I read The Time Traveler's Wife. But even that, like, I think this one feels even more special to me because it's so queer and it has an absolute, like, unmitigated happy ending. So I had a really hard time putting this one down. The yearning kept me gripped. It's so good. So yes, I recommend Cosmic Love at the Multiverse Hair Salon by Annie Mare.
So when you were talking about it, I was thinking the lake house,
Yeah, that one.
the lake house, the lake house.
I never saw it, but I know, but that's the one I thought you were talking about.
So, fantasy romance about a relationship that forms between an architect and the doctor who lived in his new lakeside house 2 years previously, only able to communicate by passing letters into the house's mailbox. The pair begin to fall for each other, but will they ever be together? Oh, I don't know.
Me neither, because I
So
never
stuff
saw
like that, yeah,
it.
stuff like that. It's. I like things like that. I like that
Hmm.
whole because you don't know, we don't know about any of this parallel universes. We don't
Mm-mm.
know, we just don't know, and it's kind of fun that we
Yeah.
don't know, because then you can make it whatever you want it. But it's also, I want to know,
Yes.
that's what, does it exist? Wormholes, do they exist? Spirits, all that stuff, like, do they exist? I
Maybe.
don't know, maybe.
I don't know
Okay.
either. But yeah, that's my recommendation.
Nice.
So that is all for this episode. Thank you for joining us. If you've enjoyed the show and you think somebody would be interested in what we recommended, please, send them the link, tell them all about it. And if you want to support us, we have a link in the show notes to our coffee.
And you know what to do. Find us on social media, or just send us an email at podcast@queerlyrecommended.com. Goodbye, everyone. Happy Pride.
Goodbye.
Woohoo.